OBJ has decided to leave the Miami Dolphins.
It's been an interesting season for him, for sure. It raises questions about what's next for him and the Dolphins. Miami is currently 6-7. They are fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC. They hoped he'd be key to their offense, but things haven't really worked out that way.
Why is that? What factors led to his less than stellar performance with the Dolphins?
Well, there are a few factors at play. First, the Dolphins' offense hasn't been as explosive as many predicted. Their quarterback has faced some challenges, and their offensive line has struggled, which limits opportunities for any receiver, especially someone like OBJ who needs big plays. Second, OBJ is coming back from a serious injury. It takes time to regain explosiveness and confidence. He might not be physically at 100% yet.
That makes sense. It seems he's looking for a situation to make a bigger impact.
Right.
Which is understandable with his talent and experience.
Absolutely. He's always been a dynamic playmaker. He wants to be in a system to showcase his abilities and contribute to a winning team.
So where does OBJ go from here? What are some likely scenarios now that he's leaving Miami?
The first hurdle is waivers. Any team can claim him. The order is determined by current standings. Teams with the worst records get priority. If a team claims him, they inherit his contract, and he has to play for them.
That's risky for some teams, especially those tight against the salary cap or those who don't see OBJ as a good fit for their system.
Right. Finances and schematic fit are major considerations for teams, especially this late in the season. It's a delicate balance of risk and reward.
And for OBJ, it means a possible lack of control over his future. He could end up on a team that's not a good fit, or a team without a chance at making the playoffs.
That's a valid concern. It's a gamble for both sides. But if he clears waivers, he's a free agent. Then he can choose where he goes.
That would open up a lot more options. He could focus on things like team competitiveness, offensive scheme, even location.
It would. And at this point in his career, those factors are more important to him, even more important than money.
It would be fascinating to see what happens. Do you think he'll clear waivers? What might make teams decide whether to claim him?
It's hard to say for sure. It depends on how teams see OBJ's current value and how much risk they'll take. His recent performance, injury history, his contract, and how he fits their roster will all be factors.
So it's complex. It's a waiting game to see how things go in the next few days.
It is. The waiver process adds uncertainty and intrigue. But no matter what happens with waivers, the question remains, where might he end up if he becomes free agent?
That's where things get interesting. Let's talk about some of those possible landing spots and explore which teams might be the best fit for OBJ and why.
Okay. There are a few teams that stand out as possibilities. Considering what OBJ needs in their own rosters, the Rams come to mind right away. He played there before, won a Super Bowl with them, and they're focused on winning now. Their offense has struggled. Someone like OBJ could give them a boost.
Yeah, he'd already know the system, the coaches, and some of the players. That would make the transition easier, and he'd get to play with one of the best quarterbacks.
Exactly. That could be a big draw for OBJ, especially if he wants a deep playoff run.
Another team that's come up is the Baltimore Ravens. They're another team with a strong quarterback and a history of winning.
The Ravens are interesting. They've been looking for a consistent deep threat. To add to their run-heavy offense, OBJ could be that missing piece, stretching the field and creating opportunities for their running game.
It's an interesting thought. They're not really known for their passing game, but they've had moments. OBJ could really change things up for them.
He could, but it might not be as perfect a fit as it seems. Their offense focuses a lot on tight ends and running backs, so OBJ might not get as many targets as he wants.
That's important for a receiver who wants to be the main target. We wouldn't want to be stuck somewhere without opportunities.
Exactly. It's about finding the balance between team success and individual performance.
Let's think about a wild card option, the Kansas City Chiefs. They have that high-powered offense led by a great quarterback.
Adding OBJ to that would be almost unfair. They already have so many talented receivers. But his ability to win one-on-one and make those incredible catches could make their offense even better.
That's an interesting thought. But there might be some problems there. How would he fit into an offense that already has so many stars?
That's the big question. Would he be happy with a smaller role? Or would he rather be the main guy on a team that needs him more?
It's a tough decision. He wants to win, but he also wants to show what he can do. The Chiefs offer a good chance at a championship, but maybe at the cost of individual success.
That's the dilemma, finding the right fit for the team and for him personally.
We've talked about the Rams, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. Each team has its own opportunities and challenges.
It's a lot to think about. And remember, this is just the beginning. There could be other teams waiting, ready to make a move if he's a free agent.
It's going to be a few exciting days as we watch what happens. It's like teams are playing chess, trying to get the best player
That's a good way to put it. Teams always want to improve their rosters. They look for ways to get better. And think about what adding a player like OBJ would mean.
It shows that the NFL is a business as much as it is a sport. There are so many things going on that we don't see. Those things really affect the decisions teams make.
That's true. Teams have to consider a lot when they make a decision about a player. How good they are, how much they cost, what the coaches want, and the overall plan for the team.
So as we finish up here, what are the main things our listeners should remember as this story develops?
I think the biggest thing is that we don't know what's going to happen with OBJ yet. He has a lot of options, and each one could mean something different for him.
Things can change so fast in the NFL. An injury, a trade, or a waiver claim could change everything.
That's right. It's a league where players and teams have to be able to change and adapt.
So to all our listeners out there, stay tuned, stay informed, and be ready for anything.
I like that. The story is going to keep changing over the next few days and weeks, and we'll be here to talk about it all as it happens.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.